I've always seen video games as a peak form of modern art that is accessible to the masses. It used to be that way. Right now, though, this art form is being ruined by greedy publishers and corporations. Have you noticed how gaming has lost its soul? How our favorite franchises have been mutilated? You cannot industrialize art. It only thrives with freedom alongside it. We've all had it this year, with this slew of disappointing games that have been coming out, half-baked, buggy, poorly optimized, and I don't even know what this is. The Western AAA gaming industry is clearly prioritizing profits over creativity. It is easy to look at the surface level issues with these games and blame politics or players' expectations and stuff like that. However, this isn't the main reason that these games suck. They are failing because they're McDonald's Happy Meal disguised as gourmet restaurant food. What I mean by that is, I see these games as fast food that is being sold at the price of gourmet food with a lot of quantity over quality. As it is right now, every publisher wants live service games that bring them constant revenue, from exploiting gambling psychology to just straight up like cash grabs that are not even actual games. We've seen all these big publishers try to sell unreasonable games or services recently. My respect for these AAA studios has been decreasing with every L that they take. I used to love Ubisoft. Now the Ubisoft I love is no longer with us. I mean, really. What are they doing, man? Alright, let's get into that later about Ubisoft. Let's talk about these live service games first. This all picked off in the 2020s with the live service games. Fortnite was huge, Apex Legends making billions along with others like Genshin Impact. Now for people that don't play live service games or multiplayer games, you might not see this, but when games like these are making billions, it is easy to tell that these AAA publishers will want to make these live service games as well. I mean, from a business perspective, it just makes sense. You see these games make billions year after year, so you want your own money printing video game to do that for you. Okay, so now publishers like Ubisoft and Sony, they see this. They see the revenue streams. They see how consistent revenue is coming from these AAA video games for these companies. They want in. They want to also make billions like EA or Epic Games. They launch their own stores, subscriptions, and finally we get these trash video games. Straight up garbanzo. I mean, look at this. So uninspired and generic. I know most players hate microtransactions, especially in single player games. It makes sense for games like Fortnite and Apex to sell skins. Makes sense for Destiny 2 with the expansions as well, but that doesn't mean we'll just keep buying whatever slop that comes up. They're trying to fit the live service product model into every game they can, just to squeeze out more profits. Remember Forspoken, Starfield, how boring and uninspired those games were? Even when they promised us immersive storylines and world building, they failed to deliver and missed the mark completely. You know, I just love what's happening right now. These publishers and AAA studios are putting out garbage games that are just so uninspired and trash, no one is buying them. It's amazing. It shows me that gamers value authentic and creative video games made by passionate game directors and studios. This is why I love indie games. They're the labor of love and creativity. The truth is, if the game is great, people will pay. They do. We can see that with games like Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate 3, even Helldivers 2. They made money, and they get the respect and love for their studios. Why these games do so well? Games like Black Myth Wukong or Space Marine 2. It's because they've been made for players to have fun, not only to make money for the shareholders of AAA publishers. These type of greedy products might work in other industries, but it will not work in video games, because video games are a form of art, and you cannot make art just for profits and have it mean something to the public. We can see it has no soul. We can see how tasteless it is. Gamers just want fun games. I just want to launch a game and immerse myself into an experience, like I do with Witcher 3. I don't want to play games to conform to a worldview or get it force-fed to me through a product that I paid for. These studios don't respect their customers. They think we'll buy just whatever trash they come up with without a second thought. Well, guess what? We won't do that. We won't give in to other slop. It has to have something good or authentic. It has to be made with a vision and artistic integrity. These game directors will need to do better than to blame their players. I would also like to briefly mention the issue with IPs and making the same game but worse. Now this happens because the sequel is just a reskin of the previous game, and gameplay wise, they've already tried whatever they could. And it's chasing nostalgia, making these safe games that the studio knows has fans that want to play more. However, there's only so much you can do with a single IP. We've seen the mess with Call of Duty, releasing a game every year with a lot of microtransactions, using nostalgia to lure people in, to buy a full price game every year. This fast food gaming model is killing these big studios and their reputation. So here we have all these studios making games that are so bad and uninteresting that no one will buy into them. Politics aside, this is purely just greedy corporations trying whatever they can to make games for everyone. Guess what? You can't appeal to everyone. You've got to make what you want and people will decide if they like it or not. These safe games are not it. They don't have anything going for them. You can't use a worldview or use these real world issues to sell a trash game. It doesn't work like that. You can tell these companies do not care about any of these issues. They just want to use them to market and sell slop to us. I won't use buzzwords to divide people here. I just want to look at the real issue. These publishers that force game developers and studios to create these limited, greedy video games are losing, and they should. This is awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about one more thing. What's the future for gaming in an industry like this? It's not certain that this will 180 back into what we had. What I am certain about is there will be more slop. Expect it. This is not stopping anytime soon. We will have greedy soulless video games like these come out in the future, but all we have to do is play the ones that are good, that we love and care for. Gaming won't lose to greed, we just won't. We're built different. Literally. Jokes aside, I really love the gaming community coming together to fight this slop, and I can say with confidence we are winning the battle. Alright, I think I've said all I wanted to say about this now. Thanks for watching and keep on gaming.